now. They've just showed some roads that have collapsed down in the Salinas, Monterey area, which makes sense because that is much closer to the epicenter than what we are here. So you can imagine the intensity of the quake in that area. It was probably much more significant than what we had here. That's about all that I can tell you from our vantage point right now.
All right, Dan, we're going to cut in and go to KPIX for a special report right now.
And they were saying, get back, head back the other direction.
And so what? You instinctively picked up a camera?
I basically went to the back of my truck, got my camera, and headed the other direction. It wasn't clear immediately what it was. There had been an earthquake, people were saying. And
well, what did you feel on the bridge?
Didn't feel anything. Didn't feel a thing. However, people were saying there's been an accident up there. Other people were saying part of the bridge fell. They said it was a third of a mile to three-quarters of a mile down that.
Excuse me a minute, Dick. Do we have the video?
I think we do. I think it's queued up. You brought video.
Yes.
Right?
You brought the tape back to us.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Do we have that ready yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. It'll be ready in a moment. Excuse me for interrupting, Dick. We want to get that on as soon as we could.
We can come back to it. It's Hank.
All right. Let's. Can we go to Hank now? Hank Plant in the marina. You can see the fire burning behind him. Hank?
Mac, it's an incredible scene down here. I'm on the Marina Green. Behind me, you see a fire that is devastating blocks in the marina. Of course, this is always the danger in an earthquake, not just the quake itself, but what happens afterwards. Also, what's happening down here is a gas leak. Gas spewing liquid gas straight into the air so that a lot of this area has been evacuated. You can smell gas from the marina here all the way down to Fisherman's Wharf. Cops are trying to get people out of their homes and trying to block off the area with police barricades right now. Cracks in the sidewalk underneath. We understand that when you get close to the fire, there are a lot of houses that are actually tipped sideways, kind of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa here in the marina. The traffic below is traffic that is trying to get onto the Golden Gate Bridge. There is a 1-hour wait to get onto the bridge, so if you're trying to get onto the bridge from the East Bay, that's what you're faced with. There are some residents we've been talking to down here. One of them is Kelly Linton, who has got no place to go except the Marina Green, right?
That's right. I think we'll be spending the night on Marina Green.
They kicked you out of there, right?
Well, there was gas spewing on our street corner, and yeah, people said you need to leave.
Gas spewing. Now most of us think of gas, we can smell it, but you actually saw it?
Yeah, it was liquid. I mean, I thought it was a water main, but it smelled like gas.
Now, you're out here barefoot. You're here with your child and 2 children, and they're barefoot. You don't have any clothes or any food. What's happening with you?
Well, I mean, we were with
All right, trouble with our signal there. It held up long enough for you to get a pretty graphic idea of what's happening over there in the marina. Now, we have confirmed now that 6 people are dead in San Francisco at the collapsed warehouse that we told you about at 6th and Bluxom. A platoon of soldiers from Fort Ord is being shipped out, being brought into San Francisco, and as we told you earlier, the National Guard has been put on alert. Margaret King of the San Francisco Unified School District has announced that all San Francisco public schools, K through 12, will be closed tomorrow, Wednesday. They will update for us as we go along after they check out the buildings and make sure they're safe. And after we regain our composure, we'll find out when the schools will be reopened. Now, Dick, Terry, Sacramento Channel 10 cinematographer, who is much more comfortable taking pictures than being in front of the lens.
To say the least.
Do we have the tape up yet? Here it is. This is the tape that you shot just a while ago.
Okay. As you can see, water main was broken going across the bridge. You can see fire in the distance there. This is the section that fell. There were 2 cars going eastbound there as the deck fell. Apparently the people that were in those cars got out safely, and they just ran like heck towards San Francisco.
Can you, well, no, you can't imagine. You can only think you can imagine what it would be like to come that close.
Those people were extremely lucky. As you can see, one of them was eastbound and one of them was westbound.
And that's the car that was crushed down below, or is that one that fell from above?
That fell from above. The one facing to the left came from above, and then the one from the right was eastbound. This was a group of paramedics that were also stopped in the traffic, and the victims had already gotten out of there.
Yeah, I this car here. I was on the.
happened here, first of all?
Well, I was on the bus and thought we blew a tire. Turns out, I guess it was a huge earthquake. The bus was swerving. The bus stopped. I looked outside. This is what I saw. I jumped off the bus, ran over and pulled these people out of their cars. There was no injuries. Pretty scary. I only came out with a cut lip, but...
How many people in the car?
There was 4 people, 2 people in each car. Everybody came out okay, no problems.
So they just came out, got out and left, huh?
Yeah, yeah, especially the people who came from the top side. They all hauled real quick once we got them out of the car.
He was in one of the cars.
They hugged each other and just took off.
Just behind. Oh, this is the bus that stopped right behind those cars.
Stop, there's a guy riding a bike. What is wrong, guys?
People seem to be calm.
I think that they felt that the worst was over at that point, and
I hope they're right.
Just basically the curious.
All right, so now that these are the few people left behind, most of the cars by this time had turned around and gone back.
They had not turned around. They were told to leave their cars there, and the people left.
Oh, they walked off the bridge.
They walked off the bridge, yes.
I see. And how about you? Did you have to walk everything back to us?
Yeah, well, what I did is I took the pictures in the lower level of the bridge. Then I headed back, and I saw a bridge worker coming down from the upper level. I walked up to the upper level. And got some more video from the upper level. And in the meantime, someone from back at Yobo Bueno Island had told the people to head east towards Oakland. And they told those people to head right towards the part of the bridge that...
toward the collapse.
And there was another car later on that headed into that area and basically tried to make it across the bridge and didn't. And I've got some video later on of them attempting a rescue of the person in that car.
Now the car, they went over the side?
Yes, not the side, but went into the area.
Went down into this crevasse.
From the upper level.
You know, we've heard reports of the Coast Guard circling around this area trying to see if anyone had been thrown off the bridge. Do you have anything to report on that?
Apparently, I saw a Coast Guard helicopter and rescue boats rescuing one person down below. Now, I don't know, whether that person was alive or not, but there was a person down there, and
somebody was retrieved from the bay. All right, now in a moment, here we are on the upper deck now.
Yeah. Okay, and that is the car that attempted to make it across the span of the bridge.
It was the luck of the draw, just where you happen to be at the moment the earthquake hits. And there's the helicopter you said is searching for people in the bay.
There appears to be somebody down there.
Down just forward of the boats?
Yes. Now, at the time, I didn't pay any attention to that because I was told that everybody was okay. Everybody had left. Okay, this is a Coast Guard helicopter attempting to aid the person in the car that fell into the span there.
That's right beneath the car that we're seeing on the screen.
Right.
And so they came in and were able to lift that person out?
No, eventually you'll see that...
there's not enough open area for him to get in there, apparently.
Apparently he did.
He did?
Apparently he did, yeah. He got in there, and there were some Caltrans people that also pulled up, as you can see.
Oh, now, that's tricky flying because you can see those light stanchions every so many feet, and if the rotor were to hit that would be the end of it all right there. So now the rescue crews are out.
So I'm shooting across the span. I'm on the other side of the span.
So you're on the San Francisco side, and you're looking now at the Oakland side.
Yes, facing over.
Now what?
Now the helicopter will take off because it'll get out of the way of the rescue vehicles from Caltrans. It was basically the rescue.
All right. Dick, we're going to leave you briefly to go to Candlestick Park. Barbara Rogers is on the scene there, has been there, was inside Candlestick when the earthquake hit at 5:04 this afternoon. Barbara?
Yes, Dave, I certainly was and felt the shaking. Immediately, people began to cheer when it hit because they, I don't think, realized how serious it was. And it's amazing right now how calm everybody has been, even though it's been 2.5 hours since that happened. And the traffic, as you can see, if our cameraman will pan off, is just backed up bumper to bumper here trying to get out of Candlestick. On any normal day coming out of the park, if the traffic were this bad, people would be honking their horns and perhaps being a little ill-tempered, but not today. People are in very good spirits, been very calm throughout this whole affair. It was incredible to me that in a stadium with 62,000 people inside at the time, when you had a major earthquake like that and everything started shaking, that even though people were nervous, some of them, there was no panic. People did not crowd for the exits. They sat down in their seats, and most of them did not leave until the officials had called off the game and told them that they had to go. People that we talked to in the parking lot afterwards said, gee, we were hoping to see a game. A lot of people were, of course, making jokes about how this was a good omen for the Giants and that the Giants didn't want to have to play this one today, other kinds of jokes like that. But it's amazing how calm everyone is, even though they're stuck here in traffic. Of course, a lot of these people don't know what's ahead for them. Some of them are, as they pass by, asking us, is there any way to get to the East Bay? Do you know what's going on in the East Bay? Because they have heard reports that the bridge is out and that there are fires going on and that there is damage. So a lot of them don't know what's ahead yet, and perhaps that's why it hasn't set in that it's so serious at this point.
Stand by.
All right, thank you, Barbara. We have an update on the MacArthur Tunnel and the Presidio. The Golden Gate. Larry, why don't you explain this? We were getting conflicting reports from the Bridge District and the Highway Patrol.
Yeah, as you can imagine, we're getting a lot of conflicting reports on some of this information, but the CHP told us earlier that there was a collapse in the tunnel, that there were cars inside, and they were checking to see about getting those cars out and to find out if anyone was hurt. However, we've got new word from the Golden Gate Bridge District, which is that there is no tunnel collapse, that both lanes are open, that traffic is able to move through the tunnel. Still no word on whether anyone's hurt at that scene, and still no word as to what exactly the damage is to the roadway out there near the Presidio, the tunnel that connects the Presidio with the Richmond District over near Lake Street. And that's the latest on that.
All right, as soon as we can get it sorted out, we'll have an update for you. Thank you, Larry. Is Sherry Who ready? She is. She's at Highland Hospital. And Doug Murphy is over there. How did you two get there from here?
Mac, we were on this side of the bay, of course, for the World Series tonight. We're here at Highland now, as you said, and Sherry was actually on the bridge when the quake hit. We, Rick Lee, my photographer, and I had just gotten over. We were in the plaza, Jack London Square. Everybody was watching the big screen TV when it hit, and it was a heck of a shake. A big shake for you, too, on the bridge?
Well, actually, we were just minutes off the bridge. We were on 580, and all of a sudden, the van started shaking. We thought, oh, my gosh, do we have a flat tire or something? And everyone's looking around at everyone else, and we see people pulling off the side of the road. And we checked, and then suddenly we hear on the two-way that there's been an earthquake instead, and that was a big surprise for us.
As we said, we were at Jack London Square, so we left there immediately, and we got down to by the 880, the Cypress superstructure there, which has completely collapsed. We have some pictures that we fed back, if we can roll those now. As you can see, it's down for about, and this is an estimate that came from some of the paramedics and some of the Oakland police, 1.5 miles of the superstructure. The upper structure, that would be the structure that heads to the south, has completely collapsed. There were, and there is no firm number right now, there were a number of cars that were on there. The people are trapped inside. A couple of the paramedics said that there are, and they don't again have a number, but there are fatalities on the bridge.
These smashed completely. They got a lot of, I believe they got a lot of dead bodies up there, you know. Because yeah, there's a lot of people alive. There's a lot of confusion up there. There's a lot of people in there, just trapped cars. They can't move and nothing like that. We done pulled out a few people out of here, and what they're doing is they're trying to load, I guess trying to open up the cars with those things and get them out.
They're not going to get them out without mega heavy equipment. I don't know.
It's going to be probably a while.
It's going to be a long time. Well, again, those were, that was one of the witnesses there. Also, his name is Larry Gilbert. He was one of the people, and really everybody in that neighborhood just sprung to action as soon as it happened. A lot of the folks that lived there climbed up the re-rod as they could up the sides of the freeway, and getting the people that they could that were trapped in the cars, getting them out and getting them down the side. It was an incredible scene. People just grabbing ropes, anything that was around to lower the people. This before the paramedics could even respond to this situation. Again, there are fatalities there. We don't know the number. We don't know the number of cars, but it was 4 minutes after 5, so it really was during the rush hour. We'd gone through that area 5 minutes before. Traffic wasn't extremely heavy, but there was considerable traffic there. Sherry's with us. She went over to Berkeley where there was a fire and covered some of that area. What'd you see that way?
Well, that seemed to be the major problem in the city of Berkeley. It was Husted's Towing, which is actually an auto and body repair shop. Now, I talked to someone who was not inside, but he said about 5 o'clock is when everyone leaves, but there was apparently one man inside when the quake hit. He tried to start moving some of the cars out of there. No one knows how the fire started yet.